All right, guys, I'm going to get you started off pretty quick here. I need you to have your pink sheet out. So if you don't have your pink formula sheet out yet, maybe pause this video, give yourself a second, and then hop in your binder, grab that pink sheet so we can fill in a few things. All right, the very first thing, hopefully you talked yesterday about what volume is. If you didn't talk about the volume, I want you to make sure that you say that volume is, volume is the space inside a 3D object. And actually, I'm going to make that even better. We're going to say the cubic space inside a 3D object. So for examples, like if I just show you a few, I might say, do it this way. If I say, oop, I'm on the wrong one. That's why. If I'd say 3D, if I wanted 3D objects, I'd have things like, just let me draw. How about that? Confuse myself because I'm trying to rush. You could have your box. Okay, that's 3D object, so the volume would be the number of cubes, the little cubes that would fit inside. You could have your cylinder. If you have a cylinder, it's the number of cubes that fit inside a cylinder. So it might be like the fluid that you could fit inside. If you would have a, oh buddy, let's see if I can draw this one. This would be like a square pyramid. Square pyramid, how much space, like how much air could you fit inside that square pyramid? So anytime we talk about volume, we're talking about the space that fits inside of it. All right, you need some formulas. Okay, the first one that you have on your paper is prism. And again, we just talked about prisms. Prisms are any shape that have the same shape on each side. So if I give you an example again, if I draw one, you might have like, you might have that box. That is a prism because it has the same shape. So it has the same shape. I can use like this and this back side. It has the same shape on both the front and the back. That's why it would be called a prism. The formula for your prism, anytime you have these, is volume equals length times width times height. Okay? Length times width times height. If you don't want to write it that way, the X's make it kind of confusing. You could put length times width times height. And I would just, I can't do it as easy as you guys, but maybe just put a dot in there just to show length times width times height. Okay? That's our best bet for a prism. The second one is cylinder, C-Y-L-A-N-D-E-R. Hopefully you talked about this one yesterday. So cylinder, maybe you're looking at a pop can. You want to know how much fluid can go into that pop can. For the cylinder, I know I really can't do this one. This is pi, I'll write that one in a second. Pi times radius squared times height. I'm going to have to redo that a little bit different than you guys. I got the radius squared, and I'm going to go in here and write, maybe, we'll see how it goes. Pi times radius squared times, times height. That didn't work out at all. Pi times radius squared times height. There we go. Okay, so it's really the area of a circle times the height. So if you envision a cylinder, here's your cylinder, all you are finding is the area of a circle, pi times radius squared, times how tall your shape is. That's how you find the volume. All right, for the other ones, the ones you probably really didn't touch on yesterday, you have square pyramid. This is probably the one that's the least of our concern. For square pyramid, it is 1/4 the area of the base times the height. All right, so I need to get my little pen out here again. One-fourth the area of the base times the height. So if I have my square pyramid here, all right, the 1/4 is going to be in the formula no matter what. times, since it's a capital B, that means you have to find the area of the base. So the total area of the base. Anytime it's a capital, that's what that means. The H stands for the height. So from the middle of my triangle up to the top of my tip up there, up to the apex of the pyramid, that would be your height. So anytime you have square pyramid, that's what you're looking for. The last two, you have cone. All right, so for cone, this one is the exact same as a cylinder except for it's 1/3. So we have 1/3 times pi, I'm going to leave some space, times radius squared times height. I got to finagle this again, kind of like you guys. All right, so I've got 1/3 pi times radius squared times height. So cone, think of like your upside down ice cream cone here, you're tipping it upside down. You're doing 1/3 of a cylinder. So area of a circle times the height, and then you're really just dividing it by 3 is how we go. Okay, so you have a prism, which is really like, I'm going to come up here, I'm going to write box, just as a refresher, and this is like your boxes, and this is your triangular prisms, which triangular prism looks like, oh buddy, that's a triangle. Kind of goes like that, and then it comes down to a triangle. That's what a triangular prism is. It has a triangle on both sides of the shape, so it's a prism. That's what prism means. You have cylinders, which are like your pop cans. You have square pyramids. You know that one. Cone is like your ice cream cone. And then the last one is a sphere. A sphere is just a ball. That's all it is. So if you want to kind of see what it looks like, a sphere, really just a ball, you'll see little dotted lines like this, just to show that it's a 3-dimensional shape. And the way we find the volume, or the inside space of a sphere, is 4/3 times pi times radius cubed. You have to remember that cubed part, so the 3rd power. I gotta get my pen out again, which is really my finger writing on the screen. Pi, so 4/3 times pi times radius to the 3rd power. That's the only one that's to the 3rd. And again, if you're finding the volume of a sphere, more than likely, like I picture a soccer ball. The volume of a soccer ball is going to tell you how much air goes into that ball. The volume of a basketball is going to be the same thing. The volume of, let's say, Epcot Center in Disney, that's going to tell you how much cubic space would fit inside there. So it gives you an idea of how much room you have all together, from the ground to the walls to the ceiling, all within that shape. Okay? All right, try a couple practice ones real quick here. Hop to your next page. Let's say, how do I want to do this? Box. I want a box. We're going to use this guy. I'd like you to find the volume of this box. So just on a blank sheet of paper, maybe pause this real quick, get a blank sheet of paper out. All right, I want you to find the volume of this box if it has 9 inches, 5 inches, and 2 inches as its dimensions. Okay? So you look at your formula sheet, maybe pause this real quick, give yourself a chance to work through it, and then test yourself with my answers on here. All right, the volume is length times width times height. It doesn't matter which one you say is your length, your width, or your height, but we know that we have a 9, a 5, and a 2. So if I put that all in my calculator, 9 times 5 is 45, times 2 gives me my 90. So I know my volume turns out to be 90 inches squared. We got here 2 visitors want to come say hello. You guys want to come say hi? Before we get to question number 2 here.
What are we learning today, Matt?
We're doing volume. All we're doing is talking. They can't see you, but
Okay.
they're going to be watching your video. You want to just say hi to them real quick?
Hi, guys. I hope you're doing well today. It's Friday the 13th. Make sure you get 13 problems correct.
Full buddy.
And make sure you pay attention.
Pay attention. All right.
For
Mr.
at least
Amchesky, Mr. Gillum.
13 minutes straight.
At least 13 minutes. We got 3 minutes left.
On the end
That's all we got. That's it. They're out of here. All right. Second one. Try cylinder. We're going to search on here, try and find you guys a cylinder. Cylinder, picture, got it. Nobody likes it that direction, so I'm going to flip it upside down just to help you guys out. Volume. All right, if you at least need the dimensions first, sorry. Let's say you have that. I'm going to say that, what we got? 3 inches for the radius, 8 inches for the height. Okay, I'd like you to find the volume of that cylinder. Remember, we round all of our answers to the nearest tenth. I just had to run across the room and grab myself a calculator real fast. All right, so our formula, we have volume equals pi times radius squared times height. All right, make sure you keep referencing that pink paper. It's going to be a pretty big help for you. So I know I have volume equals pi times my radius is 3, so 3 squared times my height, which is 8. This is really so much easier than surface area. All we do is look at information and plug it into an equation. I put all of this into my calculator. The pi button times 3 squared times 8 gives me 226. 226, and it says 0.1946. I'm supposed to round to the nearest tenth. So I look one spot to the right and see if it rounds my 1. That 9 is a 5 or bigger, so it rounds that up to a 2. So I know my answer is 226.2 inches cubed. So that tells me I would fit inside that cube, or inside that cylinder, I'm sorry, I could fit 226.2 little inch cubes inside that cylinder. That's what volume means. Question number 3. Let's try a cone. What's the chances I can find a cone on here? Oh, how about that? Perfect. Better yet. All right, we got this pretty little cone. What am I doing here? All right, for this cone, we're going to say that it has a radius of 6 inches. It has a height, because height goes straight up from the middle to the top there, of 10 inches. So if you want to pause it, you can right here just to try it on your own. You know your formula. Volume equals 1/3 times pi times radius squared times height. So I know that I have 1/3 times pi times 6 squared times 10. Got it? Type it all into your calculator. So I have 1 ABC's 3 times pi times 6 squared times 10. I get 376.9911. Supposed to round to the nearest tenth. So I look one spot to the right and see if it rounds it up. That 9 is a 5 or bigger, so I know it does round this number up. But I can't round 9 up anymore, or else it'd be a 10. So really, that's going to move this number just up to a 7. So I have 377 inches cubed. That's just an ugly 3 there. Got it? All right, and grand finale. Last question here. Last question we're going to try is a sphere. I'm just going to put ball. Wonder if ball will pop up here. Got it. It says football and it's a soccer ball. What? Oh. Guess that's what you call it if you live over in Europe. Football. All right, got a soccer ball. That soccer ball, I'm going to draw a line the whole way across. So we have our diameter. That diameter, I'm going to say is, I got to draw a little arrow because you're not going to be able to see it on the ball. I'm going to say the diameter in real life, I think is 11 inches. That's all I give you. So I want you to find the volume of that. Go for it. All right, formula, volume equals 4/3 times pi times radius cubed. So when you plug it in your calculator, all you're doing is 4/3 times pi times my radius. You think the diameter is the full way, so radius is halfway. So 11 divided by 2 is 5.5. So times 5.5 squared. Oh, see, I almost blew it to the third power. So 4ABC3 times pi. 4ABC3 times pi times 5.5 raised to the third power. If you don't remember how to do the third power, you do that little caret button. So 5.5 raised to the third power. That gives me 696.909. I need to round to the nearest tenth. I look one spot to the right. That's it, one spot. The 0 does not round that 9 at all, so it doesn't change anything. So I know it's really just this 696.9 inches cubed. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. You have your pink sheet. You know how to find your volume. I have practice worksheet up front. If you feel pretty confident, just come on up and grab it.